Welcome, family. Thanks for coming. This is the Underrated Music Talk. I'm gonna read about the legendary independent record company, Motown. But before I get into it, I thank everybody to come. Just come in. Um, hit the bell when I come for the powerful live stream or video. Hit the bell. Also, subscribe and like to the underrated. Yours truly, the underrated darkness. JT better than ever. Also, let's get them likes and the views up of the past live streams and videos that I did in the past. That'd be very much appreciated. Share those. Even share this. Also, every Monday, the Underrated Sports Show with me and my brother, She Stay Sleep. That's every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We always come out with bangers. So support that. That's every Monday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Every Sunday, always come with dinner. But it's not just dinner, it's all about fellowshipping. We have to learn the fellowship as a family, especially in our community. So I want you to come every Sunday so we can fellowship. We sit down, eat, and talk about issues or anything. Every Sunday, early. Sometimes it be early evening, mid evening, sometimes late evening. It depends, but I'm trying to keep it like at least about between 7, 8, sometimes 6. So watch out for that. Might have a special banger for y'all. This Sunday coming up. So watch out for that. I developed a chocolate soul lounge a few months ago, and it was pretty good. I want y'all to look out for that. I want y'all to look out for that chocolate soul lounge. I did that a few months ago. It was pretty good. Let's get the views up on that one. All right, very much appreciate. Also, I be doing a live stream about the midterms elections of our perspective in November. Want y'all to check that out. Okay, they're very much appreciated. Check that out. And possible are gonna have panel participation on that night. So let's sacrifice for a few hours to find out what's going on in our community around of this USA. Very important, right? If y'all want to get to know me, yours truly, Jerry Thomas. I'm on my Facebook page, Jerry Thomas, yours truly, right here. Also, I have a Facebook group, all in caps, JTNVP, Thinking for Ourselves, all in caps, JTNVP, Thinking for Ourselves. That's my Facebook group. Also, I have a Twitter account that's also in caps at JTBlackman44. Also, I have an Instagram account, the Underrated Darkness. All right. Also, I do have I'm in a joint venture with my brother Ernest Jones. The name of the company is AnsAllToys.com. AnsAllToys.com. We do our social media. Check us out. He's in the hospital, but he's doing better. But I want you to check us out. Wherever you purchase, you get 10% off. Use my code. You get 10% off when you use my code that I created, MVP VP. And it's all about keep the money in our community and also to to bring back the togetherness of the black man and the black woman. Very much support it. All right. Now tonight I'm going to read about Motown, but we're going to wait for some more people to come in before I get it started. Right? Um. So I'm glad you came, Malik, Omar. That you coming, Sheila Furnace. Thanks for coming, sister. Welcome back. I'll wait for some more people to come in. Um, but this Motown. Let me say a little something about Motown. It was the second independent black owned record company. The other one was a few years before that. Motown was like, a few years before that was VJ Record. That was the husband and the wife, and most likely I'm going to do a story on that. Then after that, um, going to the 70s, then you got Philadelphia. I'm gonna deal with the sounds. I talked to the sounds of Philadelphia the last time I did music talk and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go and get into that because that's a little more I have to do. But the third company was the Sounds of Philadelphia, that Philadelphia International, Gabriel Hupp. Um, they um they came in existence of 1971. All right, so but like I said, we gonna talk more about that. But I'm glad people is coming. We're gonna wait for some more people. We're gonna wait for about maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, and we're gonna get this thing cracking. Um, and so I'm glad everybody's all right. Um, and it just cracking. I hope everybody doing okay. And it's going very good. Very good. Very good. See what else. Oh, there's a lot of stuff has happened. Is in politics. Um, somebody is dropping dimes on Orange Crush 45. So definitely have to watch out for that. 89 TV, what's good? Thanks for coming. Go wait for some more people to come in. And so the president of Montana now, he campaigning for some senator in Montana, but he's talking about the bombshell of the New York Times. Yeah, bomb people in Trump administration is have they don't like him, and they say a lot of stuff, and now they gotta look over their back. So it's going down, family. It's really going down. So let's watch out for that. Gonna get very interested through the rest of this year and go into next year. The way how is this turning out for Trump. Again, it's the underrated music talk. We'll read about Motown. Motown USA. Yes, Motown USA. hmm So, and y'all remember the picture? Anybody y'all remember the picture Mahogany with starring Diana Ross and Billy D. Williams? Motown Motown produced that. Yes, the same Motown, they produced that. And and now also I believe they produced um the movie I forgot the name of it back in the mid 80s too. So um give you a little history on that. We're waiting for some more people to come in. I know sometimes when I send it out, they don't get they don't get the notifications. I don't know what's going on. But we're gonna wait like another minute or two and we gonna get this thing rolling. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, family. Hold on. What? Shake shakes. Wait for some more people to get come in. If anybody can hear me, press one. Press one. Do you hear me? Okay. All right, 89 TV. Thanks. All right, all right. Oh yeah? Wait for another minute or two, then I'm gonna get this going. Well, I'm glad the one who came in that joining. I appreciate that. Okay, here we go. This is a story that underrated music. Thank you, appreciate that. 89 Twitch TV. Okay, appreciate that. Um, Again, welcome to Underrated Music Talk Motown. This is it. Here it is. Motown is an American record company. The record company was founded by Barry Gordy Jr. as Tamala Records on January 12, 1959. It was incorporated as Motown Record Corporation on May 14th. I mean April 14th, 1960, in Detroit, Michigan. The name will parameter a motor in town also become a nickname for Detroit. Motown played an important role in the racial integration of popular music as an African American owned record label that helped achieve significant crossover success in the 1960s. Motown and its subsidized labels, including Tamala Records, the brand used outside of the U.S., were the most successful proponents, which came to be known as Motown style. The styles of soul music with a distinct pop influence. During the 1960s, Motown achieved spectacular success for the small record company. 79 records in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 record chart between 1960 and 1969. Following the event of Detroit riots of 1967, the loss of key songwriters, producer Holland Dozier Holland. Now, I'm gonna hold right there. Holland Dozier Holland. They end up got their own record deal. They called it Vicious Records. That's back in 1970, and then they signed Freedom Payne, Band of Gold, and she also made a song in '71, "Bring the Boys Home." That was about the Vietnam War. They and also I believe Eddie Holland. I forgot. No, I forgot. Well, I forgot. Well, one of the Holland, he went on have an outstanding solo career back in the '70s, but he also had a somewhat solo career in the early '60s. But he changed his mind. That's when they Holland Dozier Holland, they start writing hits like in the early '70s, early '60s, going to the mid '60s. Okay, I need to throw that in. In the same year, over the pay dispute, Gordy began relocating Motown to Los Angeles. The move was complete in 1972, and Motown expanded into television, films, production, remained as an independent company until June 28, 1994. The company was then sold to MCA Incorporated. Motown was later sold to Polygram in 1994, was being sold again to MCA Records successor Universal Music Group. Then it's acquired Polygram in 1999. Motown spent most of the 2000 headquarters in New York City as a part of Universal Music, subsidized Universal Motown and Universal Motown Republic Group. From 2012 to 2014, Motown was a part of the Island Def Jam Music Group division of Universal Music. On April 1st, 2014, the Universal Music Group announced dissolution of Island Def Jam. Subsequently, Motown relocated back to Los Angeles to operate under Capitol Music Group. It's now operated out of the landmark of Capitol Tower. For many decades, Motown was the highest earning African American business in the United States. Motown record was introduced to the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame of 2018 on June 3rd, 2018 this year at the Charles H. Wright Museum. Motown legend Martha Reeves received awards for Motown records. History: Barry Gordy got his start as a songwriter for local Detroit acts such as Jackie Wilson and the Matadors. Wilson's single "Lonely Teardrops" that is a legend, written by Gordy and became a huge success, but Gordy did not feel he made as much money as he deserved for this. In other singles he wrote for Wilson, he realized that the most lucrative end of the business was in producing records and its owner of publishing. Um, in 1959, Billy Davis and Barry Gordy's sister Gwen and Anna start Anna Records. Davis and Gwen Gordy want Barry to be the company president, but Barry wants to strike out of his own. On January 28, 1959, he started Tamala Records with a $800 loan from his family and royalties earning writing for Jackie Wilson. Gordy originally wanted to name the label Tammy Records after the hit song popularized by Derry Reynolds from 1957 film Tammy and the Bachelor, in which Reynolds also starred. When he found the name was already used, Barry decided to Tamala Records instead. Tamala first release in the Detroit area was Marv Johnson Come to Me. Was Marv Johnson's Come to Me in 1959 released nationally on United Artists. His first hit was Barry Strong Money, That's What I Want. And that was a big hit in 1959, which was made to number two on the Billboard R&B charts, released nationally on Anna Records. Gordy's first side act was the Matadors, which immediately changed their name to the Miracles. They were not the Matadors who recorded for Sue. They first release Got a Job was an answer record to the Charlottes Get a Job, issued by George Goldner in Records. The Miracles' first minor hit was their fourth single in 1959 Bad Girls, released in Detroit as a debut record on the Motown imprint and nationally on the Chess label. Most early Motown singles was released throughout other labels such as In, Furry, Gone, and Chess. The Miracles lead singer, the great Smokey Robinson, the great William Smokey Robinson, I'm sorry, became vice president of the company and later named his daughter Tamala and his son Barry. Several Gordy family members, including his father Barry Sr., brother Robert and George, and sister Esther, was given key roles in the company. By the middle of the decade, Gwen and Anna had joined the label in administrative positions as well. West Grand Boulevard. Welcome, fan, welcome. West Grand Boulevard. Also in 1959, Gordy purchased a property that became Motown Hitsville, USA Studios. The phonographic studio located in the back of the property was modified into small recording studios, and the Gordys moved into the second floor living quarters. Within 7 years, Motown would occupy seven additional neighborhood houses, Pittsfield, USA, 39, ground floor administrative office, tape, library, control, Stu Williams, Studio A, upper floor, Gordy living quarters, 1959 to 62 artists and repertory, 1962 to 72. Jobet Publishing Office, 1961, sales, billing, collecting, shipping, and public relations. Barry Gordy Jr. Enterprise. 1962 office for Barry Gordy Jr. and Esther Gordy Edwards. Finance Department, 1965 royalties and payroll. Artist Personal Development, 1966 Harvey Fusqua, head of the artist development and producer on stage performance. Maxine Power, instructor of grooming poise and social grace for Motown artists. Maurice King, vocal coach, musical director, and arranger. Foley Atkins, house choreography, and rehearse studios. Two houses for administrative office in two houses for administrative office, 1966 sales and marketing, travel and traffic, and mix and mastering. International Talent Management Incorporated Office, 1966 management. Motown had hired over 450 employees and had gross income of 20 million by the end of 1966. Detroit, 1959 through 1972. Early Tamala Motown artists including Mabel Johns, Eddie Holland, and Mary Wells. Shop Around by the Miracle first number one R&B hit peaked number two on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1960. It was Tamla's first million-selling record. On April 14, 1960, Motown and Tamla Record merged into a new company called Motown Record Corporation. A year later, the marvelous score Tamla's first U.S. number one pop hit. Please, Mr. Postman. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair use, fair use. By the middle of 1960, the company, with the help of songwriter and producers such as Robinson and A.R. Chiefs, William Mickey Stevenson, Brian Holland, and Lamont Dozier. That's the one I was talking about earlier. Lamont Dozier. I'm, was it? I think it was Lamont Dozier. Okay. Norman Whitfield had become a major force in the music industry from 1961 to 71. 1961 to 1971, Motown had 110 top hits. Let me read that again. From 1961 to 71, Motown had 110 top 10 hits, top artists of the Motown label during that period included the Supremes, initially including Diana Ross, the Four Tops, the Jackson Fives, while Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and the Marvelous and the Miracle had hits on the Tamlet record. The company operated several labels in addition of the Tamlet record and Motown imprints. Third label, which Gordy named himself, thought it was originally called The Miracles, featured the Temptations, the Contours, and Martha and the Vandellas, and the fourth VIP release recorded by the Violettes, the Spinners, the Monitors, and Chris Clark. Yeah. Now, at that time, the Spinners, Motown did not use the Spinners all that well because they were just like they call them road managers. What they would do, they would just basically it was a low job. They just pick people up, pick other artists up, bring them to the hotel and stuff like that. So this was like during the mid '60s. They was going through a lot, but after that, it's a shame that's the last Motown hit, and then they went to Atlantic Records, and then that's when the Spinners, that's when they revived. That's when they revived in a big way, and the late great Aretha Franklin introduced the Spinners to Atlantic Records, and then that's when Tom Bell, the Tom Bell, he powered the sounds of Philadelphia, and after that, they became Detroit Spinners, and the rest is history. The Spinners throughout the '70s was making monster hits. I just want to throw that in. But during the time, they the Spinners, Spinners was really down at the time. They didn't use Spinners. Like Spinners did make minor hits, but they didn't use them that they should. Just want to throw that in. The Monitors and Chris Clark. The fifth label, Soul, features Junior Walker's and the All Star, Jimmy Butler, Shorty Long, the Originals, and Glass Knight and the Pips. Also, Glass Knights and the Pips, they was on the other label, totally different label. But what happened was there was another group that they Motown did not pay attention to, and then I think back in '67, I think when their contract was expired, I believe 60, 60, 60, 60, 66, 67, they went to Buddha, and the Red Chiefs, then Glass Knight and Piss. They also made monster hits throughout the early late '60s through the '70s and even '80s. Need to throw that in too. Who had found success before joining Motown as the Pips on VJ. Many more Motown owned labels released recording on other genres, includes Workshop Jazz, Earl Washington Reflections, and Earl Washington All Stars Melody Country, although it was originally an R&B label, and Rare Earth Rock, which features the band Rare Earth themselves. Now, I'm gonna stop there too. That is the only rock group that Motown had. Now I'm talking about. Now I'm going around. Now I remember at Earth. Now Red was like in the '60s, going into the '70s, and they made some monster hits too. But they talking about rock, but also they had like a little soul flavor too. Red Earth, yeah, Red Earth. They don't talk about Red Earth, but you gotta. I'm talking about them. They should be recognized more themselves under the slogan, the sound. Oh, I forgot about this. I'm gonna keep on going. Rare Earth made the song. Yeah, I want to celebrate fair use, fair use, fair use. All right, understand it. Under the slogan, the sound of young America, Motown Act was enjoying widespread population among black and white audience alike. Smokey Robinson said Motown culture impact in the 1960s. I was still not in frame of mind, but that we were not only making music, we was making history. But I did recognize the impact because act was going over the world. I recognized the bridge that we crossed, the racial problems and the barriers that we broke down with music. I recognize that because I live it. I will come to the South in the early days of Motown, and the audience would be segregated. Then then they started to get Motown music, and we would go back, and the audience were integrated. The kids were dancing together and holding hands. In 1967, Barry Gordy purchased what is now known as the Motown Mansion in the Detroit, Boston, Edison Historical District as his home leave his previous home to his sister Anna, then her husband, the late great Marvin Gaye, where photos of the cover of his album "What's Going On" was taken. In 1968, um, Gordy purchased Donovan Building on the corner of Woodworth Avenue and Interstate 75 and moved Motown offices there. The Donovan Building was demolished in January 2006 to provide parking for Super Bowl 11. I mean, Super Bowl, I think 36, something like that. In the same year, Gordy purchased Golden World Records and its recording studio named Studio B to Hitsville Studio A. In the United Kingdom, Motown Recorded was released on various labels. First London, Only Miracle Shop Around, Who's Loving You, and Ain't It Baby. Then Fontana, Please Mr. Postman by the Marvelous, one of the four. Then Oriole American Fingertips by Little Stevie Wonder was one of many. In 1963, Motown signed with EMI Stateside label. Where Did Our Love Go by the Supremes, and My God by Mary Wells were Motown's first British top 20 hits. Eventually, EMI created the Tamala Motown label. Stop in the Name of Love to Prince was the first Tamala Motown release in 1965, Los Angeles, 1972 to 1998. Let me see the people in here. Thanks for coming, Chocolate and Maquita. Thanks for coming. Very much appreciate it. Los Angeles, 1972 through 1998. After the songwriter trio Holland, Those of Holland left the label in 1967 on a royalty payment dispute, Norman Winfield became the company's top producer, turned out hits for the Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Glass Knight, and the Pips, and Rare Earth. In the meanwhile, Gordy established Motown Productions and television subsidiary, which produced TV specials for the Motown artists, including TCB with Diana Ross and the Supremes, and the Temptations Diana with Diana Ross, and going back to Indiana with the Jackson Fives. The company loosens its production rules, allowed some of its longtime artists opportunity to write and produce more of their own material. This was results of the cause successful critically acclaimed albums such as Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. That is a classic. Let's get it on. And um Steve Wonder, Music of My Mind, Talking Book. All right, let me say the years again. What's going on? 1972, Let's Get It On, also by Marvin Gaye. 73, Stevie Wonder, music. Stevie Wonder, music of my mind. 72, Talking Book, also 72, and Intervisions of 73. Now I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna keep on going. Now back in the late 60s, Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye, they was keep on asking could they write their own stuff. Barry Gordy, they like he said he had a tight grip because he had other songwriters. But this is during the time now. I know y'all remember when I say it's that a shame. Now Stevie Wonder and I think it was her name was Sharek White. She wrote that's the last Spinners album of Motown. It's that a shame. That came a monster hit. Also during this time, like in the mid '60s, going into late '70s. Mid '60s going to the late '60s. Marvin Gaye also was producing too. He was writing, but they wasn't getting all that money and the copyright until it opened up. So this is like the come out party for them. I just want to let you know that Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye did wrote back in the late '60s, but they wasn't really getting credit for it. I just want to let you know that. So they wrote some unreleased, produced unreleased stuff. But Stevie Wonder and Shariah Wright, it's that a shame. And then when that record came out in '69, also Stevie Wonder, I heard Stevie Wonder play drums. So need to throw that in. Motown had established branch office in both New York City and Los Angeles during the mid '60s, and by 1969 had begun gradually moving more its operations to Los Angeles. The company moved all the operations to Los Angeles in June 1972, with a number of artists among Martha Reeves, the Four Tops, Glass Knights, and the Pips, and Motown Funk Brothers Studios Band. Either stayed behind in Detroit, leaving the company with other reasons. By relocating Motown, aiming chiefly branch out into motion picture industry, and Motown production got it started filming two hit vehicles for Diana Ross, Billie Holiday's biography film, and Lady Sing the Blues. Film Lady Sing, that's 72. In Mahogany, I said that before. 1975. All the Motown films was include Scott Joplin, 1977. Thank God It's Friday. Why I didn't know that. 1978. The Wiz, I definitely knew that. 78. That's when Diana Ross played in it. Um, Diana Ross and the late great Nipsey Russell and young Michael Jackson. And The Last Dragon, 1985, Irwin Evans, who had been associated with Motown since the 1960s and became its president in 1973. By the 1970s, Motown Hit Factory had become a target of backlash with some fans of rock music. Record producer Pete Waterman recalled this period. I was a DJ for years and I worked for Motown. The press at the time, papers like NME used to call Toy Town when I was DJ when I was DJs on the polo circuit. The students wanted me to play Spooky Tooth and the Velvet Underground. Things don't change. Nowadays, of course, Motown is hit. Despite losing Holland, those of Holland, Norman Whitfield with some other hit makers in about 75, Motown had a number of successful artists during the 1970s and 80s, including Lionel Richie and the Commodores. And then the Commodores, they came to Motown, I believe, back in 72, 73, something like that. Um, he thought that Rick James, Tina Marie, Daz Band, Jose Feliciano, and the DeBarge. By the mid 1980s, Motown had started losing money, and Barry Gordy sold his ownership to Motown to MCA Records, which began its U.S. distribution deal with the label in 1983 and Boston Vineyards in June 1988. for 61 million in 1989. Berry got it sold to Motown Productions. TV field operated to multi-executive Susanna DePass, who renamed the company DePass Entertainment and continues runs it as it of 2018. During the 1990s, Motown was home to successful recording artists as Boyz II Men and Johnny Gill, although the company itself remained a state of its turmoil. MCA appointed a revolving door of executives run the company beginning with Barry Gordy immediately successor, Jerry Bushby. Bushby quarreled with MCA allegedly that the company did not give Motown production adequate attention or promotion. In 1991, Motown sued MCA, have its distribution deal with the company terminated, and began releasing products through Polygram. Polygram purchased Motown from Boston Vineyards 3 years later. In 1994, Busby was replaced by Aaron Andre Harrell, the entrepreneur behind Uptown Records. Harrell served as Motown CEO just under 2 years, leaving the company after receiving bad publicity for being inefficient. Danny Goldberg, who ran Polygram Mercury Record Group, assumed control of Motown, and George Jackson served as president. Final years of Motown. The final years of Motown label, 1999 to 2005. By 1998, Motown had added stars such as 702, Brian McKnight, and Erica Badu to its roster. In December 1998, Polygram was acquired by Seagram's. Um, that's liquor company overseas. Then he throw that in. And Motown absorbed into the University Music Group. Seagram's had purchased Motown former parent MCA in 1995, and Motown was effective reunite of many of its MCA corporate siblings. Seagram has hoped to build a media empire around Universal and stop purchasing Polygram. Universal briefly considered shuttering the label, but instead decided to restructure. K-Don Massenberg, a producer for Erica Badu, became the head of the label and oversees successful recording for Erica for Badu, Midnight, Michael McDonald, and new Motown artist India Ari. Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, and Temptation have remained with the label ever since earliest, although all except Wonder recorded to other labels to several years. Ross left Motown for MCA Records from '81 to 1998, but returned in 1989, stayed until 2002. Robinson left the label in the early '90s, and the Temptation left the second time in 2004, the first time being in 1977. As of 2008, Wanda is the only artist from Motown early period still on the label. Universal Motown 2005 through 2011. In 2005, Massenberg was replaced by Sylvia Rhodes, for, former CIO of Elektra Records. Motown was merged with Universal Records to create Universal Motown Records and placed under a newly created umbrella division of Universal Motown Republican Group. Notice artists, notice are the Universal Motown includes Drake Bell, Ryan Leslie, Melody Fiona, Forever the Sickness Kid, and Ford Dear Strong. In the late 2008, Motown began celebrating its 50th anniversary January 12, 2009, including the release of a complete number one box set containing Motown number one hits from Billboard Pop, R&B, Disco charts, reissued a class era Motown albums of CD, and other planned events, which were released on collaboration of Universal Music Group catalog division, Universal Music Enterprise. Thank you, Queen Sandra Brown. Thanks for coming. Relaunch 2012 prison. As the summer of 2012, Universal Motown has been separated from Universal Motown. Republican Group has reverted to the original Motown brand, has hired Ethiopia Habertorium as a senior vice president. Is now operating under the Allen Def Jam Music Group. Artists from Universal Motown has been transferred to its newly revitalization Motown label on January 25th, 2012. It was announced that Neo would join the Motown label, both an artist as well as the new senior vice president of A&R. On April 2014, it was announced that Island Def Jam was no longer to be running following the resignation of Barry Weiss in a press release sent out by Universal Group. The label will now be renegotiating Def Jam Recordings, Island Records, and Motown Records, all separate entities. Motown would then begin serving as subsidized Capitol Records. Motown Sound. Motown specialized in type of soul music referred with the trademark Motown sound crafted with the ear towards pop appeal. The Motown sound typically used tamarines, the acid with the backseat prominent, often melody electric bass guitar lines, distinctive melodies and chord structures, and the call and response singing style, and its originally gospel sound. In 1971, John Legend wrote The Rolling Stone that the sound consists of songs with simply structures but sophisticated melodies along with the four-beat drum pattern regularly use of horns and strings as a trembling sound of mixing, which relies on electron limiting and equalizing boost high range frequencies, but give the overall produce a distinctive sound, particularly effective for broadcasting over AM radio. Pop production techniques, just as the use of orchestration, string sessions, charted horn sections, and carefully arranged background vocals, were also used. Complex arrangement and elaborated mesomatic voice riffs were avoided. Motown producers believe steadfast in the Kiss principle: keep it simple, stupid. Despite the growth of popular music being written and performed by black artists, the songs would not become popular or recognized unless the music was performed by white performers. However, Motown became distinctive, unique. The real Motown sound became more favorable than the auto rekindles. Motown production proceed has been described as factory like. The Hitfield studio remained open after 22 hours a day. Damn. And this artist would often go on the tour for weeks, come back with Detroit, record as many songs as possible, then profit, go on tour again. Barry Gordy held quality control meetings every Friday morning. They used veto power to ensure that only the very best material and performance would be released. The test was every new release needed to be fitted the sequence in the top five selling pop singles of the week. Several tracks that later critically commercial favor was initially rejected by Gordy. Two most being Marvin Gaye, I heard it through the grapevine, what's going on. In several cases, producers will have to rework and hope and eventually did approve in the later Friday morning meetings with as producer Norman Whitfield. Did what I heard through the grapevine and the temptation. Ain't too proud to beg. Many of Motown's best known songs included Early Hits of Supremes were written by songwriter Holland, Lamont Dozier, his brother Brian, and Eddie Howe. Other important Motown producers and songwriters include Norman Whitfield, William Mickey Stevenson, Smokey Robinson, Barry Strong, Nicholas Ashford, Valerie Simpson, Frank Wilson, Pamela Sonia, Gloria Jones, James Dean, William Weatherspoon, Johnny Bristol, Harry Bourgeois, Gil Askins, Stevie Wonder, Stevie Wonder and Gordy himself. The styles created by Motown musicians just as major influence on several non-Motown artists of the mid-19th, just as Dusty Springfield and the Foundations and the United Kingdom Motown sound became base of the Northern Soul movement. Smokey Robinson said the Motown sound had little to do. People would listen to it. They said they used to use more bass. While they used drums, bullshit. We were the first successor with it. People was coming from Germany, France, Italy, Mobile, Alabama, from New York, Chicago, California, from anywhere just to record in Detroit. Figure that was in the air. That was if they came to Detroit, record on the freeway, they get the Motown sound. Listen to Motown sounds to me not a audible sound, but it's spiritual that it comes from the people that makes it happen. What other people didn't realize that one studio there, but we recorded Chicago, Nashville, New York, LA, almost every big city. We got to, and we still got the sound. The Funk Brothers, in addition to the songwriting process of the rising producers, one of the major factors of widespread appeal of Motown music was Gordy practicing using a high select tight knit group of studio musicians collectively known as the Funk Brothers to record the instrumental and brand tracks of a major Motown recordings. Among the studio musicians responsible for the Motown sound was keyboard, the late great Earl Van Dyke, Johnny Griffin, and Joe Hunter. Guitarist George Messina. Later on, he went to play on the sounds of Philadelphia. Robert White, the great Robert White, he passed away, I believe, in the 80s. And Eddie Wilkes, percussionist, Eddie Bongo Brown, Jack Ashford, drums, Benny Benjamin, Ori Jones, Richard Pistol Allen, and bass, the great Jake Jameson. Y'all gotta stop there. They were saying that one of the best bass players of all time, James Jamerson. His son plays bass too. He passed away 2006. Need to throw that in. Bob Babbitt. Later on in the 70s, he also joined the Sounds of Philadelphia, playing the bass for the Sounds of Philadelphia. Need to throw that in too. Fair use. The band career at work chronicled in the 2002 documentary film Stand in the Shadow of Motown, which publicized the fact that these musicians played on more number one records than the Beatles, Elvis, the Rolling Stones, and the Beach Boys combined. Damn. Much of the Motown sound came from use of overdone and duplicate instrumentation. Motown songs we got regularly feature two drummers instead of one, either overdub or an usher, as well as three or four guitar lines. Bass, James Jameson often played his instrument with only index finger of his right hand and create many of the bass appear of Motown songs, such as Up Ladder to the Roof by Supremes. Let's see. Okay, artist development was a major part of Motown operations instituted by Barry Gordy. The act of Motown when label was fashionably groomed, dressed, choreographed with live performance. Motown artists was advised to they break through with the whole popular music made to the ambassador, them ambassador for other African American artists see broad market acceptance. And they should think, act, and walk, talk like royalty as alter less than dignified image commodity held of black musicians by white Americans in the era. Given that many of the talents of young artists has been raised in housing projects lacking the necessary social and social and dress experience, This Motown department was not only necessary, but it created elegant style of presentation long associated with the label. The artist development department specialized in primary working younger, less experienced as performers, just as Junior Walker and Marvin Gaye was exempt from artist development classes. Many of the young artists participate. Aaron Patch's core Motown Review was popular first at the Chile circuit and later around the world. The tours gave the young artists a chance to hone their performance and social skills and learn from the most experienced artists. Now, now, family, this is the end of it. It goes to show that Motown had their own, and despite piece like that, um, what I'm gonna do, oh, hold on, Omar, watch out for the link. Watch out for the link, Omar. I'm sending it to you right now. Um, Nicole Ali, thanks for showing up. Sandra Brown, thanks for showing up. Marquita, thanks for showing up. Chocolate, thanks for showing up. Um, but Motown, they made a lot of hits, and they groundbreaking too, movies and stuff. So we have to understand that too. If you did, Omar, Malik Omar, I'll send you the link. All right, so you can come through and that be. And so, yeah, so um that was the thing. Motown wanted to create, their own thing. And that was very important, you know. Good evening to everybody. Yeah, they also helped groom the artists too. They kept a very tight songwriting too. They were the first one that produced in their own movies. And not telling, they didn't say it in the thing, but knowing them, that means they conduct and arrange their own music too. And that was very big for our community too. They broke down racial barriers. That's very important. So wait for a few minutes. The brother don't come. I'm closing this out. But I'm glad everybody come. It was and other people said, why you pick Motown and stuff like that? Well, I picked Motown because I didn't really care for Motown that much. I always respected them. Like I said, my sound is the sounds of Philadelphia. That's my favorite, but they groundbreaking. Certain stuff that sounds of Philadelphia, especially international Philly International records came out in '71. They actually copied some of the things from Motown too. So Motown was inspirational, groundbreaking and stuff. I just wish that Motown could have been last a little long with Barry Gordy. I really want to see how the black-owned company, really, really, you know, pushing like in the '80s and the '90s and stuff with Barry Gordy. I always want to figure that out. You know, always want to do that. You know, very important. Well, let me see. I see the link, brother. And well, most likely I'm gonna close this out. Just giving y'all some information, some history. Um, uh, Salute to Malik Omar, Sheila Furnace, thanks for coming. 89 TV, thanks for coming. Um, 89 Twitch TV. Oh, you sub, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Um, Sports Conversations, appreciate that. My chocolate, thank you so much, sis. My queen, thanks for coming, Queen. Sandra Brown, thank you so much. Miss your presence. Um, Nicole Ali, thanks for coming, Queen. Miss your presence too. Malik Omar, all right, Annette B, thanks for coming for holding it down as always. Appreciate you, Queen. Uh, 819, no problem. Information man. Um, thanks for coming. But like I say before, that it's very important that we got to go back times and what Motorhead did. They broke down barriers. They, when they groom or whatever it is, they keep it within the family. And it is very, very important that we have to understand. And so, so we have to do. We have examples that if we put our egos aside and do it for the greater good, and look what Motown had gained. They made a lot of hits, really in the '60s, '70s. They was all right, They was all right. '80s they was all right, but the '60s they made over 100 something hits from 1961 to '71. Classics. What's going on? Let's get it on. Talking book. Um, Music on my mind. And I'm talking like in the early '70s. Now, in divisions, and then the grand finale of Stevie Wonder, Songs of Keys of Life, set of '75, '76. Um, then Stevie Wonder made a lot of hits back in the '70s that is not being talked about. Then you got the Commodores. They came in existence '68, but after that, but they joined the Motown and stuff. They was like, they was had minor hits in it. I forgot the name of it, but they made this famous instrumental. I forgot the name, but when I find out, I'll let you know in the later future. But also they came in as this, and they made some great hits too. They made the song "Jesus Is Love," fair use, fair use. Jesus is Love, the Commodore song. They made that back in '70, I believe '79, and also would drop a jewel on you. If anybody remember the song "Lady," sang by the country legend Kenny Rogers. Now Kenny Rogers came out in 1970, I believe. I think he did no country. I think he did pop. But anyway, the one who wrote that song was Lionel Richie, former headband leader of the Commodores. All night long. Also, you gotta understand too. That's when the Commodores they stayed with Motown for a few years. You know, they came up with one hit without Lionel Richie, but Lionel Richie, well, he's one of the top selling artists back in the '80s. He made a lot. He wrote a lot of hits for himself and other people too. But that's outside. All right, be careful, be careful, brother. And so, he made a lot of hits. So, um, so this is during the time of the Funk Brothers. They started to die off. Robert Wilson, Robert Johnson, I mean, and the great bass, one of the best bass player ever, James Jamerson. He passed away in 99, I think early '80s. Then you got the soul, um, most of the folk brothers start dying off too, and even like you got some artists die off too, like the Four Top. They start dying off like in the '90s and stuff. But we gotta respect what they did, and they worked together, and that's how you run a corporation. Oh, Sabala's hot seat, yo, welcome. Oh, Malik Omar, I seen you the link. I seen you the link, brother. I'm gonna send it to you again. See, you want to get on for a few minutes. So if you see the link, Malik Omar. So if you get it, get on. You can come on for a few minutes before I close it out. James J. Okay, hold on. Yo, LDBC, somebody hot seat boxing. JMJ 2121 on salute. LDBC. All right, Malik Omar, JMJ. Hold on for 1 second. When you get it, just come through. Just say you on the panel. All right. Right, okay. All right, brother. I sent it to you. Um, JJ. Um, mm, All right, James, just see the link. Let me know you didn't get it. This is a great. I'm telling y'all, this is a great story about Motown. So the ones who are missing,
Yo, I'm on the panel. Can you hear me?
what was that?
It's JMJ.
Oh yeah, all right, good, good. Just hold on tight right there, brother.
All
Hold on
right.
tight, hold on tight. I got you. All right. See. Oh shoot. Go ahead, James. Did you hear the Did you hear the story about Motown?
It said, what happened in Motown?
I read about Motown.
Um, no, I didn't hear that. Well, give me the info there, brother.
All right, Motown was started. Hold on, fam. Hold on, fam. Let me see
Hold on, boy.
the people in the chat, could you hear me? Press one or press two. Press one, you hear me, or press two, you don't hear me. Okay, hold on, Omar. Malik Omar, I gotta say it again. Okay, there he is. All right, brothers. How the brothers doing?
Hey man, I'm doing good. The underrated darkness, man. It's a blessing, man, to be on your panel again, good brother. I
No
seen you.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. This
You
is
know, you
it's a blessing y'all to have. And
yeah, you definitely, man, went in on Motown, man. You dead on it. You know what I'm saying? How you get all the information, man?
I'll be find my stuff. I pull it up, you know.
Yeah, that's what's up. I gotta salute you, man. Half of that stuff I was right. I ain't know all that, man. That you
Yeah,
went in.
yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, you what you let me use the bathroom. Tell JMJ about Motown a little bit. You know, and I'll come back.
Okay. Well, J and J from well, that's a little bit before my time, but from what the underrated darkness was talking about earlier on, family. You know, he was going into a whole lot of the groups, man. You know, the Jackson Fives, Marvin Gaye, Gamble and Huff. I mean, he went in Smokey Robinson, and I didn't even know that Smokey Robinson was an owner. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was just an artist on the label, man. You know what I'm saying? He was actually part owner to this day, and you know, Motown actually, I have to I have to give homage to them too, underrated doctors, because all these R&B folks is out here now, man. They laid the line for that. You know, the Temptations, man, the Fire Heartbeats. I mean, you went in. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
but no, but dude, let me correct you. Gamble Huff was part of Gamble Huff was part of Sounds of Philadelphia. That's
Right.
totally different.
No, you're right. But he wrote a whole lot of songs for a lot of the Motown people, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Oh yeah, let me do there and then but see this is right. And this is the thing about that a lot of people understand too, that at the time that I forgot to bring this up too, Marvin
mm,
Gaye of the early Motown hits and Tamla hits, he played like the bass guitar,
yes,
the
sir.
keyboard, piano,
Yes, sir.
bass guitar, horn, everything. The early Marvin Gaye. So everybody don't talk about that part of Marvin Gaye.
Yeah,
The early part, the young Marvin Gaye, he played of the early hits.
wow, wow, wow. I never knew that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
yeah,
what I do know about Marvin Gaye is that he came from he was definitely a gospel singer. He came out of the church, man. The brother
Yeah.
was, you know, a lot of the things, I wasn't born then, but a lot of the things that he listened to his songs, man, the guy could actually touch your heart on for what was going on back then and put it into perspective, man. I mean, he was a legend at that. You know, but unfortunately, drugs took him down, man. I mean, it was sad, man, on how a lot of them brothers, you know,
But
was
but see,
beat
but,
down.
but see, what's so sad about Marvin Gaye? He never really had a close relationship with his father,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Mm-hmm.
plays a lot and everything. But now, if you ask me that when he was in our community, I think he was ahead of his time. But see, and now before I'm gonna get to you, James J, you know, before I want you to say something after me and Malik say something about this too. Now I
Yes,
feel
sir.
that Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder, they was the only ones stepped up and said they want to write their own and arrange their own music.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Right. And everybody thought, oh, this happened like in the 60s. No, this happened like in the not late 60s, but also was happening in the mid 60s. They would keep on after for a few years. You know, I could write my own music and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's when I read about Barry Gordy. He lightened up and everything. You got so when it improved and stuff. So you gotta understand one thing that Superstition that came out of the LP. I believe the talking book.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the
Mm-hmm.
talking book. It's not the talking book. I believe is the music in my eyes, something like that. But see,
Yes,
both
sir.
LPs, but see the both LPs, that was had 4 or 5 songs apiece.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You right
So
about that.
so you gotta understand that was the time. Then he you know a lot of people don't understand. Stevie Wonder first came out in '63 with Fingertips. That was a top R&B hit and a pop hit.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And the thing about it, oh man, it was geniusly stated too, JT, man. And also the beautiful thing about it, and when you listen to Stevie Wonder, man, you would think that this brother has all 5 of his senses, man. Here's a man that could play the piano and damn near do what Marvin Gaye did, man, in the studio, and wrote for Michael Jackson too, the
Right.
early Michael Jackson. Here's a man that's blind that was able to accomplish that, man. Now, and if that ain't God in the flesh, I don't know what is. This man can go in the studio now and make a hit record. Ain't never seen the light of a day with his eyes. That shows on
Yeah.
the power of God,
Right.
man.
Right. And a lot of people don't understand that the Jackson Fives came from Motown.
Absolutely,
Nobody
absolutely.
understand that. You know what
Uh,
I'm saying?
you know who it was. It's actually 2 people that actually pushed them too, and it's Gladys Knight and Stevie Wonder. Most people don't know that.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand too that also I forgot to say about the Ozzy brothers. A lot
Oh
of people,
man.
let me tell you a little history on the Ozzy brothers. Then J, I want you to get your take on this. The Ozzy brothers had T-neck records. That's back in the early '60s, the mid '60s. But what happened was it wasn't moving that good at the time. So what happened was they that's when Motown recruited them, but Motown was not using them or the spinners right. So what happened was after their contract was out, they reissued T-Neck Records. I forgot who distributed them. Then after that, they come issue a thing. Do
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do. That's part of the T-Neck imprint. And then after that, you know, they slow making records here and there. You know, in the in the early '70s, they made some hits. They made some R&B hits, but it wasn't concrete. And then when they come out the 3+3, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
They just
Mm-hmm.
took off after that. But
Mm-hmm.
then you got the spinners. Now the spinners, they use the spinners the same thing as they use the spinners as road managers. Now road management was degrading job. You go there and pick up a new artist and you bring them to the company and you just sat right there and wait to wherever songwriter they write you that. But the spinners been through that for almost a few years until after they come out. It's a shame, you know, they ain't really enjoy it. So after that, you know, they was messing around in the early '70s. Then after that, the late great Aretha Franklin of Atlantic Records, she introduced the spinners to Atlantic Records of the Sounds of Philadelphia, Tom Bell, and Tom Bell. They had it was a executive. He had a list of names, and then the spinners was like in the bottom, and they picked. I know I'm going off the subject, but I'm gonna get back to the subject. And they picked the spinners because he remembered hearing the spinners back in the early '60s.
Yeah, yeah.
Loved their harmony, and so what happened was that's when the spinners went off. Went off. That's when they became Detroit Spinners. And
Hmm.
that's when they made a lot of hits of the sounds of the Philadelphia. So but get back into Motown. On JMJ, what you doing while we told you.
Well, Motown was the bomb, man. Shoot.
Yeah,
Motown was the bomb. You know what I'm saying? The Temptations.
can't hear you.
Okay, you can't hear me? Oh,
I can hear you now. We can hear you now.
hey, Motown was the bomb, man. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? All this mumble rap, you gotta listen to something old, you know what I'm saying? Old school, you know what I'm saying? And they gave a message. Just like with Dennis Edwards with the Temptations. And a runaway child running wild.
Yeah.
And heavily, you know what I'm saying? I actually like Dennis Evans on the Temptations than David Ruffin, but that's me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Smokey Robinson and them. You know what I'm saying? Motown was a bomb, but my favorite is James Brown though. But because they had stuff back in the days, but they showed the joint where he did Night Train and all that. Tommy at the Tammy or something like that. Studios and all that when he did his Night Train and Please, Please, Please and all that. You know what I'm saying? But sticking to Motown, man, like you said, Aretha, you know.
No, she wasn't part of Motown.
No, she wasn't. Okay.
No, yeah, she wasn't part of Motown.
No, she wasn't.
Oh, okay, but
Gladys Knights and the Pips, they're part of Motown for a few years, but that's when then in the late I think I believe I knew they made some songs with Motown, but they left Motown. But they started making them hits too. And let me see. Now Gladys Knights and the Pips, they heard through the grapevine. I don't know who made it first, Marvin Gaye or Gladys Knight and the Pips. That's back in '67. Now Gladys Knight, after she left there, now I'm getting off Motown. Now I'm talking about family. I'm talking about Gladys Knights and the Pips. Now Gladys Knight and the Pips left. They were signed with Buddha. Now they're down. Now they start making a lot of hits. Now it's hard to say goodbye. Now Curtis Mayfield. I gotta say, Curtis Mayfield did his first soundtrack of Superfly.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right now we got Too Fly out the way. Now in '74, he made there's a movie named Claudine came out in '74.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He did a soundtrack for that, and Gladys Knight and the Pips was part of that.
No.
So people, when you watch Claudine, the soundtrack Curtis Mayfield produced, and I think he did some arrange on that too. Superfly when he did it in '72, I think he did some arrange of that, but he did mostly songwriting. But I think Claudine he did some songwriting and some arranging too. But he wrote some monster hits and everything. And people want to understand what Claudine is all about. It's about this garbage man. And
Yep.
then it was about this garbage man. And he met this young lady. She had a lot of kids. And then she was all well. And then he would start getting her stuff.
James Jones, huh?
Huh?
Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones won it.
Right, exactly. So what happened was, if you know how the system was failing, watch Claudine's sisters and brothers, and then they had to hide the stuff what he bought for the kids and stuff. and
Mm-hmm.
then at the end, and they stick together and stuff. And so, but and that is a movie. It will show you how the system broke us up.
Yep. And you got JT also the movie and like the brother said, man, them songs. Ironically, man, it had to be Faith because them songs back then. And I know I wasn't born, but man, I listen to that stuff, man,
Yeah,
to this day.
I'm
It
gonna tell you a song.
it was
Or
always a message in it.
yeah, I could tell you the song that make me sad every time. It make me cry. Invisible
What's that? Invent.
of the Claudine soundtrack.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Invincible. Yeah.
Nah, I don't like why. I don't like listening to that song, man. It
But
makes you cry,
yeah,
man.
yeah. It's
Because
powerful.
it goes to show how the system treats us as invisible, and it's like, and it cut, and the way she's saying, it's like, oh man, it cut. But I told people, get close if you want to know what the system is about. Do me a favor, watch Claudine or get the soundtrack
Right. No doubt.
and listen to it, and make sure your mind is clear. Make sure
Hmm.
your ears is clear. Make sure and it give you. It's like the Bible. It's like the
Hmm.
Bible. How the system oppress us.
Now check this one out, JT. Man, you said that eloquently again. Man, I like the way you put that. And then check this one out. Now, if you really like you said, you got a lot on your mind. Like you said, man, if you calm down and meditate, put some Motown on, man,
Yeah,
and it'll actually tell you chronologically what black folks been through in this country, or people in general, man. And it will have
yeah.
you looking at yourself if you're involved in yourself and benefit from this sickness, man. Also, another person that we sleep on that was signed to Motown, and a lot of people in the chat might get on me about this, but the brother, you say what you want to say. I'm about to mention him. The brother,
Who,
if you listen to his music, man,
who
there's
this?
messages in that. I'm about to say, all right, the freak James Brown. I mean, Rick James.
Okay.
Yeah, the freak. And listen to some of his stuff, man. I know
Oh yeah,
some.
you got some stuff on it now. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he heavy, man. Man, some of that stuff and that was a character that he was portraying. The pimp type character he was portraying was the
yeah.
what was the
Rick James got some stuff now.
yeah. Now, but this is the thing though, good brother. He actually respected women. Most people don't listen to his music. They looking at the videos and stuff. And with that type of character that he was playing,
Mhm.
that pimp, it was actually getting people to look at themselves who was out here actually pimping women. And the brother was real heavy, man. He was conscious too. Just listen to some of his stuff, man.
Yeah.
They be
Oh
breaking
yeah.
that, brother.
Oh yeah. Hold that thought. Now Sonya C says the making of you by Glass Knights ever. Yeah, best remake ever. But you know who wrote that? Sonya C.
Who?
The late great Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, Curtis Mayfield's a bad boy. He's so man,
And
Curtis
make it
Mayfield.
so bad. Curtis Mayfield made that and sang that first
Mm-hmm.
on his first solo LP, Curtis, back in 1970.
Well, check this out. That Superfly soundtrack, Curtis Mayfield was actually bedridden. He wrote that in bed, man. He couldn't even walk. That's how much genius this dude is. He was wheelchair bound. Most people don't know a lot. He could walk a little bit. He wasn't that degenerative that he was towards the end of the day, but he was actually bedridden. The geniusness of that man, Curtis Mayfield. And listen to some of his music, man. Like I said, brother, I wasn't even born then, but listen to it, man. It's futuristic. He
And
talking about things that.
also he did his third soundtrack,
Mm-hmm.
Short Eyes, back in '76. The late great Aretha Franklin said, "Give me something the way I feel. Give me something the way I feel." That
Mm-hmm.
did a remake of that in the early '90s. Aretha Franklin came up with that. Now that was his third soundtrack that he wrote too. So you
Yeah.
think about Curtis Mayfield wrote three soundtracks,
Yes, sir.
unheard of.
Yeah, that's unheard of. That is unheard of. And all of
Short Eyes,
the whole set.
right, Short Eyes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but JT, you know the whole every soundtrack he wrote. And I'm not trying to be funny, man. And this may be a little bit bizarre, man. But each soundtrack he wrote matched the film.
Yeah.
How that happened, I don't know, man. And just to sit back and listen to his music, you be like, he say, excuse my French, God damn, he talking about something happening right now in 2018. That's how ahead the man. He was ahead of the game like that, JT.
Yeah.
So, back then, you talking about geniuses that was born, man. That's why I say I call them star children. A lot of them angels came there, man, in the 60s and the 70s, man, because these people, it was futuristic, man. I can't really explain it, but it was way ahead of the game. Rick James, too. So
Yeah. And then,
Motown,
yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, it's a lot, man. All right, James J.
Well, y'all dropped the size on me, but I'm 40 years old, man. You know, I wasn't born like Malik said. I wasn't born back then. You know what I'm saying? Every time I go in the car with my roommate or something like that, sometimes I listen to Soul Town. There's a joint called Soul Town Sirius XM, you know, with Gladys Knight and others, Temptations and others, man.
Oh yeah, and oh yeah, and James J. and Malik. I forgot to tell you. And then the Temptations dropped this 1969 thing says press or something. This LP. They say the song about the black man.
yeah,
Don't stop us now.
that's right.
Yo, get that. There's two versions. I think there's a 3 minute version and a 6 minute version. Get the 6 minute version, people. Oh my god, yo, that's when the Funk Brothers they went nut on that. Oh my god.
You know what, JT? I found it to be very, very interesting too, brother. That the musicians back then, the black ones in particular, man, they wasn't afraid to talk about what was going on in our community.
But see, right, but you gotta understand that Barry Gordy had a title on that, like in the early '60s, going to me. He didn't want to really talk about social, but that's when Norman Winfield came in with his psychedelic and his, of his social content.
Okay.
That's when the movie, that's when the music started evolving. That's when impressions started evolving. That's when the other people started evolving. So Motown got involved with that, and that's when the Temptations started saying about Black Power. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't no nice bubble. I ain't gonna say bubble gum. Like nice stairs. They had afros. They talk about issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Because the chumps now that's making the music, male and female, none of them chumps, man.
Yeah, exactly. Even like the Supremes, even back then, that's what little by little. That's what Diana Ross was like. She didn't really leave, but that's when she started doing movies. Motown was setting up for their production and stuff. Billie Holiday, back in '72. Lady Saint Blue, and then in '75. That's what she did on Mahogany. I remember I watched Mahogany, and then you got the Wiz. That's when that's Quincy Jones. And Quincy Jones did some arrangement that and everything. And so Motown is groundbreaking.
Yeah, Motown is actually in 1959 when they first got LLC in 1960. Man, I was unaware. I thought it got started in New York, but actually got started in Detroit, right?
They got it in Detroit, but let me tell you something. Motown is not the first independent black record label. The first one is VJ Records.
Okay. Well, okay. Wow.
I'm talking about on record. Now there is a first African American record label back in the 1880s, 1890s. I seen that, but I didn't really catch it. But on record, I'm gonna name three. Now the other one, I ain't gonna say the one in 1890 because I gotta look into that. There's three.
Well, the thing about that though, JT, is that I wouldn't disagree with that. But I'm talking about on a level like Motown, because I never heard no music that they made.
You know what I mean? Talking about?
Now I'm talking about the first African American. You say
no. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I cannot really say nothing about that because I don't have no history. But I'm naming it right now.
Okay, I got you.
DJ Records back in the 50s. That's the mother and the father. They the ones. The Beatles first came in. Now, when people say, "What are you talking about the Beatles?" That's when because 63 and 64, I mean 62, 63, 64. That's when the British invasion came in America. They was worth all that money. They was worth over like 200 some $million, $20 million. So VJ Records. Then Motown came in a few years later, like I said, about 6, 7 years later of 59. And then 15, then 12 years later, that's when the sounds of Philadelphia came in, stopped taking to another notch of popular music. That's when Gamma and Huff created the sounds of, Philadelphia International. Now, Gamma and Huff did have other labels back in the mid '60s to the late '70s, but they could not name, they cannot get distribution because at that time there was prejudice too. They was being discriminated. They was making music for other white people or like that. They trying to cap their money, but they couldn't do it. They finally get their money. So what happened was they got all their money together. Because what happened was they was Leon Huff had his own. Well, it did pretty good. He did over 300 some records of different artists. Then Kenneth Gamble, he had his own label, Gamble, but he reissued that like in a few years later, like in the '70s. But what happened was then after that, they formed Mermaid. They formed Mermaid Records. Now Mermaid Records came in. That's when the OJs. They signed the young old. Now they were the young old. The OJs was not young. See, they was in the game go almost 10 years. So they signed the OJs. Now what happened was when Mermaid folded. That's when I'm going through what I did before the I said, I'm just reissuing some a little bit that some of y'all see. What happened was that's when they developed North End Records. I'm talking Sounds of Philadelphia, not Motown, the Sounds of Philadelphia. That's when they had North End Records, because back in Philadelphia at the time they had quite a few labels. So they had quite a few things. So what happened was that's when CBS came into the picture. That's when CBS had that's when they had money. So that's when now I know y'all remember I talked about the Isley Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Now that's when the Isley Brothers had that's when CBS signed the distribution, so they labeled
right
CBS Records. Also Earth, Wind and Fire. Now, but one of the first ones really signed to CBS Records, CBS Records was Gamble and Huff.
Okay.
They signed them first. That's their distribution. So after they did that, the rest is history. I just want to get a little people, ones they didn't hear from before, because I did music talk back then too. So I want some people to understand the connection, what Motown had impacted.
Yeah, well, bro, yeah, that's deep, man. You schooling me on that. What now? Let me ask you something. When did they sell out, and what happened to the downfall, man? Because I know that Motown in the early '90s was up under.
They was up under in the '80s.
Yeah, but there was a sub distribution that also took them on for Def Jam.
What happened was the artists that you gotta think about back in the '80s. The '80s, that's when the '80s stopped. That punk rock thing came in.
Okay, yeah,
the punk rock came in, and then it was other people was not into like soul music. They did with R&B. They was one alternative, and so what happened was that now Philadelphia International at that time was suffering too. But I'm gonna do a story about them again too. But that's when Motown started losing money, and they were changing hands for a very long time. Even after, and then even like they come up with a music, The Last Dragon, back in '85. That's their last movie they did. They had to sell that. And then that's when it was changing hands a lot from like the '80s going into the '90s into the 2000s. Now that was during the time that Barry Gordy and them, they got paid a nice bit and stuff like that. And that's when the old Motown, they was coming back and forth, Motown revived platform. But Stevie Wonder always been in Motown to this day. Wow. They make sure that Stevie Wonder stays there and stuff like that. And so
You don't
Motown
really
was,
you don't really find that many artists that are loyal like that.
yeah.
You know. But now what now Smokey Robinson, he had a anniversary, a 50-year anniversary a couple years ago, and he spoke on that because he had ownership in it. Is he still owner or
I don't know about that. I gotta look into that.
okay?
I know,
Okay.
I know, I know. At the time, when he was on drugs, and when he got off of drugs, like in the early '80s, he was trying to help revive Motown. And that,
Okay.
and there was some talking that Marvin Gaye was coming back to Motown.
Hmm. Yeah, but isn't it true? You said he didn't have a good relationship with his father. It's true
No, he
that
didn't.
they said it's, they did.
His father treated a piece like a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this: word is he was jealous of him too.
He was jealous. But see, this is the thing about it. You know, when people were saying like, "Oh yeah, Marvin Gaye was on drugs," when he said Marvin Gaye was not on drugs.
Mm.
It just the point is that his father was beating on the moms.
Okay.
And so Marvin Gaye got tired of it, but you know, when you deal with the system, they're gonna tell they lie. And so they never really charged the father. They charged him of miscellany, and that was it.
Yeah, that's a
So
shame.
yeah, it's a shame. And then it seemed like nobody ain't talking for Margaret. But Margaret was not high. It was not high. It was about some insurance money and stuff like that. And then so
Stay right there, JT. This thing, this. Let me plug. I gotta plug my. I'll be right back. Hold on. I gotta plug my
all
phone.
right, all right. You can go ahead, James J.
Hey, just I'm gonna sit here listening to y'all, man. You know, I still listen to Soul Town. You know, in the '70s, Soul Town on the radio. The '80s. You know, Gladys Knight. Everybody else, man. You know,
Yeah.
it was everybody, man. I don't know if
Yeah, but you know, let me read this. Let me read this, so I'm gonna get your saying on this. Sonya C said, if we control distribution, the whole would be have to pay the whole piece. Yeah, you're right. But see, at that time, you know, we ain't had that. We ain't had that money. I'm talking about the '70s. That's why. That's why, like, of their labels, they have to have. They got to have that natural constant distribution. But it was a gift and a curse too, because while the labels or the black labels were distributing their own stuff out, CBS Records or wherever it is, they were putting their record out. So they wasn't really getting all that, but you know, but you're right though. But see, that's all they had back then. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Well, it is what it
So
is on the record deals. You know,
give me an echo or something like that. Hold on. Let me see something.
is that me?
I can't hear you, JJ.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is with record deals, man. You know, some people want royalties off of that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Royalties off of that, man, because that's messed up how they do royalties now. People getting, you know, when they have their records, you know what I'm saying? Just like someone Ticket TV did something about the brat with
Yeah.
she said she had to give up had to sell her house and give up royalties and
Can't
stuff
hear
like
you, bro.
oh, they had to give up with the brat. With they had to give up royalties or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just so she won't go to jail or nothing like that. And I was like, I thought when you give up the royalties, you don't have to do all that. And some file for bankruptcy and all that good stuff. So other than that, man, music business is a trip. Is a trip right now, man.
Yeah. Yeah, Sonya C said our man wrote the greatest love songs. Yeah, that too, and women too. You know, it was quite a few women that wrote some great love songs too. And
Yeah.
it wasn't. See, this is what I'm saying, that it wasn't. We didn't let nothing divide us as a people. You know, we wrote some timeless songs, even it hurt. You know, when we find a way to get back together, it's not like that no more. You know, there's no integrity no more. It-
Yep. There ain't
it-
no
it-
new dishes no more coming back. There ain't
yeah,
no
right.
there ain't
And
no
then you, huh?
temptations coming back. There ain't no temptations coming back now unless you have the sons or the nephews still singing, you know what I'm saying? They don't have that no more. You feel me?
Yeah, I hope so too. So in always catalog, he should. I think he should. Yeah, I think he is. But and at the same time too, our people, these days, they don't know how to write. They don't know how to produce. They don't know how to arrange. Some of these artists back then, they could do it all. Or then if the ones can't do it all, they could sing their ass off.
Yep.
And then that's missing too. And
Yes,
also they was business people back then too.
yes, sir.
And
Hmm.
so that got to come back. You right, Sony, we gotta have our own distribution. You absolutely right. You know? But at the same time, but we gotta work together though, because we know how the system is. They are trying to do what they can to block that. And so what I like what Gamble up there, because they trying to catch the Sounds of Philadelphia with some stupidness. So what happened was instead of selling, I'm gonna tell you what the Sounds feel. I'm telling you what's Philadelphia National what they did smart. They get
Yeah.
all the money they can, they close it up, and they still have ownership of their catalog.
Hey, ain't that the sound of Philadelphia? With,
Huh?
they did this Soul Train thing. You hear me,
Yeah,
JT?
I give you a little bit.
They say ain't they the one that the sound of Philadelphia made it the Soul Train thing back in the days.
Yeah, they don't want to create that.
Oh, okay.
The,
Oh, okay.
they famous studio band MFSB. They came out with three LPs too back in the '70s,
Oh, okay.
and
Hmm.
also they did damn, what's that? Sexy, or somebody else did Sexy back in the '30s. I mean, not back in the '60s, but they made it popular. That record was part of the Saturday Night soundtrack back in the '70s. Saturday Night Live. You remember that picture?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they saw made that soundtrack too. One of the hot records on that soundtrack.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
MFSB. Yes. Look it up. Everybody, y'all believe me? Look it up.
Well, I'm gonna look it up, man. Well, I underrated darkness, man. Appreciate you being on your platform and everything. I'm just listening, man. I know I couldn't drop this size this time because you knew the size of Motown, man. I appreciate you being on your platform again. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
appreciate that. And then again, come early, man. I am.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
You,
come
I
early,
see.
man.
You like to make your grand entrance late. I know it's about you, James. You be sneaking up, man. Come
Sorry
early.
about
Come. I was messing with you. I was messing
that.
with you.
All right, man. I'm gonna listen, man. I'm gonna be off. All right, man. You have a good night. All right.
All right, peace. LDBC all day.
Yeah, LDBC, man. All right.
All right. Yeah, family. We getting off in a few minutes. I don't know what. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. Okay. I don't know what happened to the real Aaron Collins. What's good? Hey. Yeah. Yeah. So you see, yeah, let them know, man. Let them know the real Aaron Collins. Welcome, my brother. You missed a good one. I did a story about Motown. Oh, you can catch that on the rebound when I end this and everything. But I'm glad you came, brother. I hope everything all right with you and the foundation. Um, you know, I was gonna do. something about sports, but I'm not gonna do it. It's too late. Got set up and everything. So, but hope you all right, brother. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna be doing this more. Talk about music. I'm not gonna talk about the music of yesteryear. I'm gonna start talking music currently too, like the last 20 or 30 years. So watch out for that. I'm dropping jewels. I did I did a live earlier. I want y'all to check that out. I was outside. All right, I want y'all to check that out. Let's get them likes and the views up on that one. Be very much appreciated. You know, I'm thinking about doing something about Curtis Mayfield and also the Oppressions. The Oppressions first came out. The great Jerry Butler and Curtis Mayfield was a part of that. They was the first one made Gypsy Woman. They had quite a lot of people did remake on that. I think the earliest remake was the late great Bobby Womack. I might do a story about Bobby Womack too. I'm so proud. Yeah, that's part of the Oppressions. Curtis Mayfield and the Oppressions. Now at that time, when Sony C did put that down, I'm so proud. That's when Jerry Butler, he was solo. He was not part of the Impressions no more. You know? And then I forgot to tell people, yeah, woman gotta have it. Yeah, Bobby Womack. Now the people understand. Late great Bobby Womack was an excellent guitarist. Played with his left hand. He wrote a lot. He was an excellent songwriter of his own right too. Even he wrote some of the soundtrack 110th Street back in '72 when black exploitation on pictures was at that time. That's when Hollywood really started putting money into that. You know, he wrote soundtrack to that and did well too. 110th Street soundtrack '72. Bobby Womack, I forgot if Bobby Womack and somebody else. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Stay positive, brother. You're gonna be all right. We're Aaron Collins. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. Gonna be all right. No. Anybody wanna make some say something in the chat? Feel free, because in a few, I'm closing this bag. I'm closing this up. I'm getting a little sleepy. Oh. Real sleepy, but I can stick it out a few more minutes and close that up and everything. I already did a show with Sam Cooke. I gotta look for it though. Sam Cooke, I don't know. Sam Cooke, I gotta dig up. I think I did a show with Sam Cooke. That's deep. That's deep in my channel too. I did that like about a year and a half ago. And let me tell you something. We're Eric Collins. Do you know the young? I'm talking about the young Bobby Womack. He was part of Sam Cooke songwriting team. He was showing him how he could write a song and he could do a song. And somebody did a remake on that. He gets money for it. He was showing them that, the royalties and all that. And go more of Bobby Womack. Bobby Womack was struck because he's the same with the Womack brothers. They come from the gospel of this gospel groups. And so what happened, it was the Womack was singing and they were part of Sam Cooke and everything. And then when Sam Cooke died, got killed, why Bobby Womack ended up marrying Sam Cooke's wife. Her name was Barbara, and her brothers didn't like that and stuff. Oh, Bobby, I'm gonna do a story why Womack, and then that's what Bobby Womack wrote, met up with his best friend, the late great Wilson Pickett. Yeah, yeah, but that's his mentor, right? So he moved with Wilson Pickett. So him and Wilson Pickett started writing together. They write some hits too. So, but at the same time, Bobby Womack was getting his solo career together, and then that's when he started making his mark of his some labels right there. That's when the United artist was saying signing to him. That was the same label that 9, 10 years before that, in the early '60s, the Ozzy Brothers was part of that. Now I'm gonna drop another jewel on your too. Now who's that lady? Remember the Ozzy Brothers made that? Now the older Ozzy Brothers, they made that in '64, but but that one says that lady, and that was like 2 minutes, 2 minutes some seconds. They made that in '64. They remade their own song 9 years later in '73. It says who's that lady? I think that's like about 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, something like that. Malik, just hold on. I'm gonna get you back on. Just hold on. I'm gonna see the link. Watch out for the link, Malik. I'm seeing the link. Malik, look out for the link. I sent it to you.
Hey, all right, 'cause I was wondering what was going on. Can you hear me, JT?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, man, I've been trying to get on. What's going on here? Yeah.
I don't know, man. They be bugging out, man. I'm telling you, man. Like, yo, the real Eric Collins, you want to get on for a few minutes on the chat? I mean, on the panel. Let me know. Like I said, I'm gonna be here a few more minutes. That's it.
Okay, yeah, right on.
Not you. You're good, Malik. I'm talking about the real Eric Collins. You want to
Okay.
get on? You gotta let me know now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go ahead and speak, Malik.
Okay, bro. I know. Okay, thanks, brother. But yeah, I was just listening to you. And you damn sure dropping jewels, man. You dropping stuff. Dropping musicology that I ain't never ever heard, man. Marvin Gaye, wife, she just wrote a book, man. I found that book to be very interesting, brother. Because
Okay.
Marvin Gaye, when he met her,
All right, Eric Collins, hold on. I'm gonna get you on. You go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
okay,
I'll get him on.
when he met her, she was 17 and he was 34 years old,
Right.
and he fell in love with her. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Marvin used to force her in his book. She claimed that Marvin used to force her, the other side of Marvin, allegedly when he was on drugs. Because a lot of people said he was never on drugs, which
Yeah, he
that's not.
was because he was seeing like the things was going on and everything. Eric Collins, I'm seeing the link right now. Watch out for it.
Yeah, but she was saying in her book that Marvin was actually he would talk her into having threesomes, man. And she was saying that on his drug episodes, man, that he was very, very violent. And she was also
Because of
saying,
the drugs, man.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And she was saying also that she, once they separated, that she was so mad and in pain with him that she went to his rivals and had relationships with him. Like one of his rivals was Teddy Pendergrass. She used to sleep with him. And also she used to also sleep with what's that brother name, man, from Philadelphia, man. It's a group that's called, man, it's Frankie Beverly. Yeah, she used to sleep with him. And she was saying they was his rivals, so that was her get back to him. And
Yeah.
I found that to be very, very interesting in her book. And the
Yeah.
name of
Oh,
the
so
book.
hold that thought. Sonia C's, do you want to get on the panel? Let me know. You can drop your email in. I get you on. Go ahead, Malik. Yo, go ahead, Malik, and then we're Aaron Collins.
Okay, good brother. Yeah, because I don't want to be long winded. I know the sister want to talk, but and also she was saying in the book, brother, that it was a like night. It was a nightmare on earth, man, living with him when he was on them drugs, man. And I'm gonna let y'all see this book, man, because the book, JT, is a very interesting book. Um,
All right.
it's called After the Dance: My Life with Marvin Gaye. And y'all got to check that out. I got it at a discount. I got it at $5.99. I was actually got a half price from Barnes and Noble. But the sister should go into this detail on his sexual side, and I didn't know Marvin Gaye, according to her, was
Yeah,
someone.
Marvin Gaye was a freak, man.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a freak. That's what I'm about to go into. Say, man, he
Yeah,
did
MJ,
anything.
MJ get his, man.
Yeah, and I was just thunderstruck, brother, because I said, man,
Yeah.
you would never ever know that Marvin was into this stuff, man.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye was freak, man.
Yeah, we'll walk out in the street, man, and pick out a couple and let a dude smash your wife and you watch. Oh man, I couldn't even fathom nothing like that, JT, man. But you're right, he damn sure was a freak.
He was a freak.
You know what I'm saying? He got that.
And his wife back then was a freak too.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. And she was saying something about on how he introduced her to cocaine and everything, man, because she was kind of
Yeah,
strung out a little bit.
cocaine was big back then. Yeah. The real Aaron Collins.
What's happening, brothers? What's up, JT? What's up, Malik? If your first name is my middle name.
Oh, that's what's up, good brother. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah. I like that book, man. I like that book.
Yeah, so Marvin, yeah, the music industry back then, even though it wasn't as detrimental as it is now, they still had their moments. Like I was talking to a friend of mine. Yes, I didn't know this that Rick James and Prince had a beef.
Oh yeah,
They had a beef for like late 70s because
Yeah.
of
Yeah, Rick was jealous of Prince.
yeah, but Prince.
yeah, you gotta think about popular. Yeah, he was jealous of because Prince was like, and I mean, but I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna tell you, Rick James playing
But
this old. He was in this old group. I forgot the name, but they made some hit. They made some minor hits, you know, back then. But later on, they end up going like do great in music. I forgot their names. When I find the names, I forgot the group, but I know each member later on in the 70s, they did great.
Yeah, they said
They did great.
I hear that he like Rick James he stole Prince's guitar, then changed all his settings and took it and brought it back to him. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Rick James, brother, to piggyback on what you said, Rick James actually pissed off with Prince because actually Rick James opened up the door for that swag and that style, and Prince stole his style. So he just wanted Prince to give him kudos, but they actually became best friends, and Prince eventually gave him his props and said, man, I got my style from you, the high heels, you know, the tight jeans, because men, you back then, you're like, damn, this dude just like a woman.
Right, and understand it's about Prince, man. Prince played over 20 different
the brother was talented.
instruments.
The brother was very talented.
And plus, Purple Rain and Under the Cherry Moon were both sellers. Plus, he arranged and conduct those songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're not telling his music.
Yeah.
So you think about people had that. Then at the same time, you know, he identified our issues too.
Yeah,
And
he
was always a threat. He was like, you know, stuff like that. And you know, but you know, I think people like, you know, people take shots at Prince. I'm like, yo, you know, but you know, Prince. Well, Prince was not gay.
No, Prince was a sissy.
He was. Prince could get women better than.
Prince went in, dog.
No,
Prince ain't no fag.
Let me tell you something. A lot of these dudes right here, some of these dudes think they max. Man, Prince could pull women, exotic women that you never thought even existed.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
Come on now.
Yes, sir.
let me
Now,
tell you.
and-
Let me tell you. I went to church. I went to Prince. When he had Purple Rain.
mhm.
I had a free ticket. One of my partners gave to me,
All
and
right.
he's married now with grown kids. But anyway, we gave a gold ticket, and then you know, and we was like, we had like we're at the fourth floor. Yo, Prince, what's up? Yeah, how you doing like that? You want to come in the back? Nah, I ain't go. And but I'm gonna tell you, when the ones who did drugs, he makes sure no, you take
Yeah.
it back there.
Yeah. And
And
you
then
know what?
Prince and Michael had their beef.
15
Yeah.
minutes.
What
We
you know?
talked for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cool, brother. He like, yeah. And we was like, and then all of a sudden, he said, man, I got a taste for some White Castle. White Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to White Castle. We eat Prince White Castle. Prince, he wanted to take a picture, but it was like, please publish this now. No, we don't want to take no picture. Bitch ass motherfucker. Fuck us up, man. We could have had to make money on this. But anyway, Prince was cool. And we did Michael Jackson. Man,
Prince like the White Castle, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
yo, Prince love White Castles, man.
You don't get
I
Prince
it
grew up
real.
on Slider
Yo,
Burgers, man.
real brother, man. Prince real brother. And then,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
grew up
Prince,
on some sliders. I got family
yeah,
members that grew up with New Prince in Minneapolis.
Wow. Yeah, and don't get it twisted neither, good brothers. People sleep on Prince, man. You know,
Yeah, they did.
Prince, I'm gonna tell you, Prince did a lot for our community too.
I'm about to go there. Not only did he do that, brother, but Prince is the first artist that came out with a double CD. Prince also did a count soundtrack. Now, what I'm about to say,
Everybody think it's R. Kelly. It was
no,
Prince.
well, Prince
Prince
did something.
first.
He did something that's unprecedented, brother. That Batman soundtrack, I still listen to it to this day. Every instrument he played on his own. Like the band was Prince, and the singer and the writer was Prince. Nobody does that, man. I mean, this dude played all the instruments, everything in the background. It was Prince.
And let's not forget he produced he produced and direct two of his pictures.
Not only that,
And wrote, conduct, and his own songs.
well, he also
Unheard of.
produced. He produced and wrote for Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Sheila E., Vanity. I go on and let's go. Tevin Campbell.
Oh yeah, Vanity. Yep, Vanity
And he was
6.
far-
Yep.
A lot of hits. Prince wrote, let me tell you, I'll be honest, Prince wrote a lot of hits for big people. A lot of hits.
Yeah, and you know what, JT? I agree with y'all, man. Prince was far from being a homosexual, man. He wasn't that. I don't know what people get
Prince
that
ain't no
from, man.
homosexual.
No, he
Prince,
wasn't.
yo,
was
Prince get that, dog.
Yeah, Prince-
What?
Yeah, are y'all aware that his estate is $300 million, and they call him the children that never ever, because he's very, very private, man. And through DNA, Prince got 13 children, man, love children. Yeah, but he always took care of them, but you never heard of them. It's 13 of them. So, you know, people need to do their Google search and all of that, but he was damn sure a woman's man. He wasn't a man's man. He ain't roll like that, man. Prince, and I know some people around me that know him too, man, that's in the music industry here in Philadelphia, man. And Prince, they say Prince ain't play that, man. Men walking up to him, touching him. He want a woman touching him. He ain't play no men touching him, man. But Prince is very, very homophobic, brother. Don't get that twisted.
Yeah. Even Prince, him and Michael, I think they had a meeting together. But Prince and Michael never saw eye to eye. I would have loved to see him, Michael, Prince, and Rick James and James Brown. I would have loved to see all of them collaborate together.
Well, you know, the first time he was on stage, James Brown brought Prince and Michael Jackson on stage. You can find that YouTube. Did. Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. They got the video.
Yeah, he did. Michael brought Prince on stage at the James Brown. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and this when Prince knocked that pole down. You see when Prince knocked that pole down. Prince.
Yeah. Well, brothers, I'm getting tired. I'm going to get ready to lock this up.
All right, JT. Right. Yeah.
No, stay right there. I want y'all to stay right there. Well, everybody in the chat, I want to thank you so much. And I really appreciate this. And Malik and Aaron, make your last comments very short, please, because I'm getting sleepy.
I just want to say good night and God bless everybody. And I want to thank JT for allowing me to be on this platform. And y'all have a good night. If y'all mad at anybody today, forgive them before you lay down. God bless.
God bless. All right, Aaron Collins.
Appreciate you, JT. Let me on here for a few short minutes. I love what you do, bro, for the community. Malik, I love your Avatar independent film, Philadelphia. I'm in the independent filmmaking here in
Thank you,
LA.
brother. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But yeah, JT, you're a good brother. Keep doing what you do. Peace and love to the chat.
All right, peace. Um, I'm just gonna say one thing, yo. Let's love each other and let's stick together. Have a good morning. On that note, I'm Ghost.